perhaps he wants to be Prime Minister. Most people in politics do. You know that, Harry. Half the House of Commons.
I know you want to be Prime Minister. But
half the House of Commons think they should be Prime Minister.
Have you had a word with him?
His comments are wrong. His comments are wrong. We are making gigantic strides.
You told him to wind his neck in then?
No point in telling him what to do or what not to do.
Breaking right now, the Reform UK civil war has just burst into the public consciousness. Now, I've been speaking about this for a number of weeks, a number of months. That makes many of you unhappy. But it's not my personal opinion. It's just what's going on behind closed doors in the insurgent party, which is top of every single national poll at the moment, but for the first time where there are serious question marks around Nigel Farage's future leadership. So look at this headline in the Daily Mail today. Elon Musk-backed Reform MP Rupert Lowe reveals how he would save Britain. And as Pierce posted on X, we could have a Reform PM after the election, but it might not be Nigel Farage. Rupert Lowe spoke to me about his tough line on immigration. I think he'll be very popular, but let me know what you think. And I have read this interview, and let's just say, and I love Rupert Lowe, by the way, and I also love Nigel Farage, but let's just say Rupert isn't holding back. He says it's too early to know whether Nigel will deliver the goods. He can only deliver if he surrounds himself with the right people. He says Nigel is a fiercely independent individual and extremely good at what we have done so far. But, and this is a big but, we have to change from being a protest party led by the Messiah into being a properly structured party with a front bench, which we don't have. We have to start behaving as if we are leading and not merely protesting. He went on to say, Nigel is at the core of everything, but he has to learn to delegate, as not everything can go through one person. Now, knowing Nigel like I do, he ain't gonna like this. He's not gonna like this at all from Rupert Lowe. And there are other divisions in the party, of course. When Dan Hodges posted on X, he's the Mail columnist, like I said a couple of weeks ago, Rupert Lowe has clearly had his head turned by Elon Musk's endorsement. There is a big bust-up coming inside Reform. Ben Habib replied that he's the former Reform UK deputy leader, saying nothing has gone to Rupert's head. He's grounded and sensible. And of course, what this interview has done is allow the mainstream media to pile on and the Uni Party to pile on and say, look, these divisions in Reform UK are not good. Take this from Christopher Hope, the political editor of GB News. Are the wheels wobbling at Nigel Farage's Reform UK party? So far today, Rupert Lowe has raised questions about Farage's leadership and whether he might be PM. Official Electoral Commission figures show that the Tories raised £6 for every £1 raised by Reform from October to December last year. And Deputy Leader Richard Tice apparently forgets the surnames of two councillors who have defected to his party in Scotland. Here's that video.
I've got John and Ross, and they're from. Are you going to challenge me on everything? We're going to ask a policy question. Well, I'm answering policy questions.
What are the surnames?
I'm asking policy questions about how we make people better off.
My question.
Good.
My choice of question.
And John and Ross.
To you is what
and then John and Ross.
What councillors are the front?
John and Ross.
What councillors are the front?
Next question.
You cannot tell me who your council defectors are today. Why not? Do you know anything about Scottish politics? You can't even name your own members up here.
Well, I would say that is a pathetic gotcha from the mainstream media. But remember, those pathetic gotchas are going to continue, given that Reform UK are stubbornly ahead in every single national poll, including a new one released today. So, two perfect men to discuss this on my superstar panel today. Nicholas Lassac is a Reform UK supporter, a serious ally of Nigel Farage. Howard Cox was Reform UK's big gun, one of their stars. He ran for the party at the London mayoral election, but had a falling out with Farage and the leadership over Tommy Robinson and has since left the party. So, Howard, this is really interesting. It feels like Reform UK is developing into two camps. You have Rupert Lowe with folk like Elon Musk, yourself, Ben Habib, and then you have Farage. Where do you stand on this fascinating interview that Rupert's given to the Daily Mail?
Well, first, let me just say it's important, Dan, to understand I'm still wholeheartedly believe in Reform UK. There's no other alternative to actually who should be running this country. I do have questions about Nigel's leadership, but I've known him for 10 years. I've worked with him on the Fairfield UK campaign when he was with UKIP and with the Brexit Party. But to cut a long story short, I got, and I've said it on your show before, that I was sent a text just 3 or 4 days before I decided to leave the party from a major leader of the party, and it was Richard Tice, who said, look, if you continue to support Tommy Robinson, you will be expelled. Why didn't they say that to Rupert Lowe? Because what Rupert Lowe has said since, and at the same time as I did, exactly what I said, that this man is being treated wrongly. And Nicholas, bless his heart, who I've got a lot of respect for here, he also said the same thing. It's nothing to do with you support Rupert. I support Rupert Lowe, by the way. It doesn't if you support Tommy or not. It's all about actually human decency and the human right of an individual, and especially now his health. And what I'm saying is, why the hell isn't all of the 5 MPs, the glorious famous 5 of Reform, coming together and supporting Tommy Robinson and getting him out of prison? And you don't have to support what he stands for. I don't care about it, but I think they do support him because he's just highlighting child rape gangs. So going back to Rupert Lowe, Rupert Lowe was the only person on the day I stood as London Mayor to come to me. He rang. There wasn't anyone from headquarters from Reform when I put my vote in the ballot box in Westminster. I expected to have a camera crew or a couple of people with an iPhone or two to take a picture of me, casting my vote. No one was in sight whatsoever. Nigel wasn't leader of the party then either, so he didn't come out and support it. The only person who was there was Rupert Lowe, and he came to see me and he stood there, took some pictures. And that man has been honest. He doesn't take a salary. He is truly in it for the country.
And he is a great guy. I mean, he is a great guy. Rupert Lowe is an absolutely great guy. Interestingly, Isabel Oakeshott, brilliant journalist and the partner of Richard Tice, the deputy leader of Reform UK, has posted on X in clearly a riposte to Rupert Lowe, saying Reform leader Nigel Farage is the single biggest threat to Labour and the Tories. The idea that anyone else could begin to do what he does is comical. Do you agree, Nicholas?
Well, of course I agree with Isabel, and as you're well aware, I am a big Nigel Farage fan. I posted on X earlier today reaffirming my support for Farage. He is the only man who is capable of leading the party right now, and there will be a Reform government after the next general election. There will be a Reform Prime Minister, and his name is Nigel Farage. And that's all I really have to say on that issue. But going back to Tommy Robinson, as I pointed out earlier, as Howard reiterated, you don't have to agree with Tommy Robinson. You don't even really have to like him, but you have to acknowledge that his treatment is pretty appalling. And if they can do it to him, they can do it to you too. He's not a terrorist. He's in there on contempt of court, and he shouldn't be housed with the terrorists.
Now, it's really interesting. Nigel Farage has just spoken out against Rupert Lowe. I haven't seen this yet. So it's an interview with Harry Cole, the political editor of The Sun, on Talk TV. Let's all watch it together. But I'd say it's very clear, based on what I'm told is Nigel's response, that this is a wedge developing in the Reform UK party. Let's watch. But first, we've been told our whole lives that wrinkle creams were the easiest way to look younger. Now one doctor says that's nothing but old news. According to Dr. John Lake, the world-renowned Beverly Hills beauty expert, most wrinkle fixes on the market are nothing but glorified moisturisers. He says they hardly make a dent on your appearance. Some, wait for this, can even be harmful to your skin. Now, recently, Dr. Lake has focused his attention away from mainstream cosmetic practices so he can pursue a revolutionary anti-aging expert that some experts say could empty the wallets of the cosmetic industry. He describes it as almost like Photoshop for your face and says you may even be mad after seeing how easy it is to visibly erase your wrinkles from view. His personal clients have dubbed his new do-it-yourself technique the Age Rewinder method because it can take years or even decades off your appearance in under 2 minutes. In light of this amazing breakthrough, Dr. Lake has released a step-by-step video to the public. It's free, it's uninterrupted, and he outlines exactly how to use this simple solution from home. And he says, if this even helps one person look younger or feel more confident, I'll be thrilled knowing I helped. The video, you won't be surprised to learn, has gone viral. It was first shared on Facebook. Since then, it's racked up over 2.3 million views and counting. So far, the comments and feedback have been outstanding, with thousands of women reporting they look decades younger. One even commented, best results of anything I've used. I can't believe how well this works. I'll never stop using this. I don't understand how it works, but the results are great. Thank you. So you can find out more about this yourself right now. Just go to bhmd1.com/outspoken, or just click on the link in the description box below. That's bhmd1.com/outspoken. Now, there is one thing Dr. Lake asks from his viewers. If watching this video helps you look and feel younger than you have in years, then please share it with your friends and loved ones. Together, we have the power to help as many women reclaim a youthful look as possible. So go watch the video at bhmd1.com/outspoken right now, or click on the link in the description box below. But now, back to the show.
But there's a lot of text coming in today about your old mate and colleague, Rupert Lowe. Now, he, I'm sure you've read it, popped up in a rival newspaper we're not going to mention that wasn't The Sun this morning, and he said it's too early to know whether Nigel will deliver the goods. He can do, but he's a fiercely independent individual, and it's been good so far, but he has messianic qualities. But will these distill into leadership? I don't know. We have to change from being a protest party led by the Messiah, which I think is you, but you are a very naughty boy, to being properly structured party with a front bench, which we don't have. We need to start behaving as if we are leading and not merely protesting. That is a shot across your bows, isn't it?
Party.
That's a shot across your bows there, isn't it?
We are not a protest party in any way at all. That is utterly wrong. Utterly, completely wrong. We are an entirely positive party. Come to any reform event and the positivity, the energy, and perhaps you should come to one or two.
I've been. I came to your one in Birmingham. There were fireworks.
Well, look, do you know what? If I've got a following out there, that's a good thing. If I hadn't, we wouldn't have won any seats in Parliament at all on the 4th of July.
Including Great Yarmouth, I presume you put in that.
Wouldn't have been a cat's chance in hell, would there? Come on, be honest about it.
Well, why
We're not a protest party, and he's on the front bench.
Yeah.
So what's he talking about? But with only 5 people, you can't really have a shadow cabinet, can you?
Well, you can fit the whole shadow cabinet in a taxi, can't you? So
we've got a lot of development to do, but we're absolutely not a protest party. And you know something? If you saw the level of development we've undergone in the last 8 months, we've created a constitution for the party. We've changed the share ownership and structure of the party. We've set up 400 branches around the country. Yeah, some are embryonic. And right now, within 10 yards of me, we are working hard to get 1,500 vetted candidates into the field for the English local elections on the 1st of May.
So why is Rupert Lowe going public with these comments? There's not something better to be had behind closed doors?
Well, perhaps he wants to be Prime Minister. Most people in politics do. You know that, Harry. Half the House of Commons.
I know you want to be Prime Minister. But
half the House of Commons think they should be Prime Minister.
Have you had a word with him?
His comments are wrong. His comments are wrong. We are making gigantic strides.
You told him to wind his neck in then?
No point telling him what to do or what not to do. Fact is, we are making...
Wow, there you go. Okay, I mean, quite clear this civil war, which has been going on behind the scenes, has now burst out in public. Howard Cox. I mean, that is absolutely strong from Nigel Farage. He's wrong. He's completely wrong. No point me telling him what to do, and conceding that he wants to be Prime Minister, or that he thinks Rupert Lowe wants to be Prime Minister. Your response?
Well, it's very simple. I mean, there's the classic showing of the Messiah, and there's about 30 or 40 branches that have contacted me. They've been dumped. A lot of people have chosen their people to be actually, very parliamentary prospective candidates or council people who've been dumped and been told from central office based on a vetting procedure, which I don't understand what's going on. There's a lot of loyal people who've got Nigel to where he is now, and he's actually dump them on the wayside. There's a lot of political corpses who are very loyal to them, and I could list them, but I won't embarrass them now. But Rupert Lowe is a good man. He's a brilliant politician. He's not after to take the major job. He still supports Nigel. I still support Nigel. I still support the Reform UK Party. But he's got to get to realise that it's not just a one-man band. He cannot be a one-man band, and that's what he's become. I went to the farmers' protest on Tuesday, and Nigel was there, and around him was about 30 people almost worshipping him. Oh, it's Nigel, it's Nigel. It's unbelievable. We've got to talk about policies. I want Reform UK to do well, but they won't do well unless they start listening to the grassroots.
Nicholas, how do you respond to that?
Well, I wholeheartedly support Farage. I do like Lowe. I think he has been good in Parliament, but Farage is the only leader for reform. And we're fielding hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of candidates. We've got loads and loads and loads of brilliant things coming up, loads of absolutely fantastic events. The event in Birmingham on the 28th of March, where we're going to launch the local election campaign, is going to be really, really, really terrific. And Reform is not a protest party. We are a legitimate opposition to the government.
Yeah,
in fact,
I actually do agree with that.
I can argue that turquoise is the new blue. Quite frankly, we've overtaken the Tories. The
problem, Howard Cox, with this type of divide is that the Uni Party see this as their opportunity to slam reform. So let me give you two examples of this that have just emerged in the past hour. Chris Philp, the shadow Home Secretary of the Conservative Party, has said this warfare at the top of reform just goes to show that their MPs are more concerned with their own egos and advancing their personal ambitions rather than standing up for the British people. With one of Farage's most senior MPs doubting his leadership abilities and admitting that Reform is a protest party with no plan, it is clear that Reform are not serious and will always put self-interest above national interest. The British people deserve solutions, not just empty slogans. And a Labour spokesperson has just responded as well, saying it is open warfare in Reform's ranks. But while Nigel Farage's top team fight amongst themselves, it is their plans that would harm the public in areas like healthcare. We know Farage wants to charge patients thousands to access treatment. Oh, he doesn't. I mean, Labour are liars. They are liars. Then he says, but Rupert Lowe himself also calls the NHS a fraud. Just imagine the chaos this lot would unleash if they got into power. It's just not a risk worth taking. Sorry, I could barely read that statement, Howard, because Labour are liars. I mean, I actually want Farage to go a lot further when it comes to NHS reform. He's already said everything's going to remain free at the point of use. But can you see that the Uni Party are going to be using this big time?
Well, that's all they've got, isn't it? I mean, this is the problem. We're in a situation with Labour and the Tories. If it wasn't for the fact that the Labour is so bad and the Tories absolutely blew it at the last election, Reform UK wouldn't be doing so well. There is a need for Reform UK. We need a centre-right party to bring the millions of people who are homeless in terms of votes. I'm a Thatcherite, and I want to see Reform UK deliver Thatcherite-type policies. Like you, Dan, I actually agree that we should go further on various things, particularly on the NHS, and especially protecting our borders. All of those things, I'm right behind Reform UK, but they need to talk policies rather than worry about fighting each other. Reform UK, I mean, in the case of Rupert Lowe, I think his article has been taken slightly out of context, but Nigel needs to listen. He's not always right. And Nicholas has got it right. He is the one that's going to be the Prime Minister in, I think, sooner than the 2029. I think it could be in 2027. I think it could happen soon. But when you get a situation whereby I stood for London election, I also came second down in Dover. I got 23% of the vote after 3.5 weeks of campaigning. No one has spoken to me from the headquarters since last July. Not one person. That's how they treat their grassroots people. And that's why I'm angry with people, because I get non-stop messages from people who feel as though they've been let down by the headquarters, particularly by Zia Youssef.
Thank you so much for watching Dan Wootton Outspoken. Please click on my face just to the bottom left to subscribe to this brand new independent news source and turn on the notification bell so you'll be alerted to our brand new live shows, uncancelled interviews and special royal episodes. Outspoken is also now available as a podcast, so you can listen to the show every weekday on the go wherever you are.